Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Today what we're gonna do, we're gonna unbox and look at the Eizo FlexScan EV2451 in white. And basically that's a brand new monitor from Eizo that just came onto the market recently. And maybe you can see this here, I already peeked inside. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit of an unboxing, show you what accessories this comes with, what kind of cables, and walk you through the setup process, show you a little bit about the design, as well as the amazing build quality that monitor delivers. I mean, just to give you like a little bit of an idea, I'm a long-term Eizo monitor user, and surprisingly, even my really super old Eizo monitor still works incredibly well to this day. If you can have a look at the old monitor, I mean, I bought this many years ago, and I clocked thousands of hours on this one, but obviously it's small. And if we look at the back, this has a limited connectability. So I really wanted to upgrade from this older model to the newer model, and the newer ones, this is like a 24-inch. Obviously there are 27-inch, but since Eizo is premium, they really do cost a little bit more than what you comparably would find at a local electronics store. I mean, actually the surprising thing is, I don't know how popular this Eizo brand is in the US, but like here in Europe, in Germany, I went to the electronics store and I checked at the electronics store, and I mean, there are like two big major electronics store chains, and I could not find this Japanese Eizo brand. The only thing that I could find were Samsung and LG, stuff like that. The Korean brands dominate the market, and for some really strange reason, these Eizo monitors, they're not even present on the store shelf. So I'm guessing, I'm a long-term Eizo user, so I know the quality. I mean, check out the things you can do. Like, this thing is so flexible, you can move it any way you want. And I think this was like a really big thing back when these monitors came out, that they were really like so quality built and so versatile. And Eizo has really, over the years, continued to improve on these experiences that they collected over the years. And I think Eizo really makes these craftsmanship made in Japan monitors. So that's actually the only reason why I went to the trouble and looked this up online and ordered it online on Amazon, because I've learned to appreciate the Eizo quality. Obviously, you already noticed I'm a little bit of an Eizo fanboy, but maybe that's partially also because when I was in college, I studied overseas in Japan. So I visited Japanese factories, so I know a little bit about what is going on in the Japanese manufacturing space, so to say. So why don't we jump in? That concludes the intro. I'm just now gonna unbox it and show you close-up shots, and maybe compare the old Eizo against the new one, so that you can see what has improved over the years and how much better they even have gotten. Then at the end of the day, for you, the decision is like, should you just buy a significantly cheaper Samsung or LG, or should you pay the premium to get a made in Japan monitor? So let's check this out. So guys, why don't we have just like a quick look inside the box? So first we have like a manual, and that explains how you're supposed to take this out of the box. Then obviously we have the power cord. We have, that looks like a USB 3.0 cable, and this cable looks like a really good quality. Maybe I can show you like a little bit of a close-up shot here. This is also to improve the signal quality. And yeah, the monitor can function as a hub for your USB 3.0 devices if you connect that to your computer. So let's see what else we can find. We find, what is this? That seems to be like the cable cover and a small manual. And I'm gonna show this to you in a second. And here, finally, we have a display cable. And I believe this is a DisplayPort cable. So in my case, I still have an old Mac from 2009 that I'm using. So obviously, unless I put a new graphics card in my Mac, I have to stick with the DFI connector, or maybe have an adapter from the mini DisplayPort to this DisplayPort, I believe. But I should be fine using the DFI. And yeah, that's basically also a thing that I noticed with this Eizo FlexScan monitor, that it has, I believe, like 4 connectors: the analog, the DFI, the DisplayPort, and the HDMI. So maybe I'm also going to connect my Apple TV in a second via HDMI. And then I could basically, if I want to watch a movie, just turn off the computer and watch it via the Apple TV. And that should work fine too. So let's just unbox this and then check out the details in a second. And as you can see, everything is really nicely packaged. So I'm just gonna grab this, quickly take it out and then show you some close-up shot when I have removed this foil. So I'll be back in a second. And yeah guys, maybe as you can see, this thing looks super futuristic. Obviously it's a 16:9 aspect ratio. Honestly, I'm a little bit more of a fan of 16:10 because if you have 16:10, then there's a little bit of extra space at the bottom, and I think that makes the feel of the monitor even bigger. Although it's just a little bit of space at the bottom more, the 16:10, I feel the monitor has a different kind of feel to it if you sit in front of it. But obviously the 16:10 was considerably more expensive for some reason. And I also noticed when I went to the electronics store that they're mostly only, the most sold monitors are all 16:9. So I was really having the trade-off. Should I pay considerably more? I think like this was like $300 and the bigger 16:10 was $450, something like that, something like that. So I was really hesitant, A, because of the price, and B, because if I produce content, I was just thinking like, why not produce content on a screen size that is adopted by the majority of people? So then the way I produce content is similar to the way most people watch it on their screen. So it should give me a better feel for how people experience my content if I do something graphically and stuff. So still, I think the bigger one is a little bit better, but I'm fine with this. So let's check it from behind. And guys, I really hope this shows. The quality looks really nice. I mean, this personally, I'm a fan of this kind of color. And when you take it out of the box, that's also a really nice improvement that they made. It is just like some carrying handle, so you can just grab it, and this mechanism to change the height, they also changed that compared to the previous generation. Personally, I like it a lot. And then I think on the bottom you call this the swivel feature. Yeah, you see this? You can really swivel it around. That is also really nice. I think this is almost like 360 degrees. Wow, incredible. So not sure whether I need that. But obviously the change the height is the most important feature. And then let's look at the inputs real quick. So as I was previously mentioning, it has the analog, the VGA, the display port, I believe, the HDMI, and that's what I'm going to use, the DFI connector. It also has a real power switch, which I think is also, whoops, I hope this stays in focus, a real solid power switch. That's kind of old school. I like that too. I believe this, you call this like a Kensington lock. You can put a lock on that monitor, and then heading over to the side right here, you have the connector for the USB 3.0, and you have an audio in and an audio out, it looks like. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna plug in all the cables and show you the picture quality and use it for a while and give you a testimonial. Basically, so that you know whether a monitor like this is worth it for you as compared to the other brands. Obviously, from everything I see so far, the material quality, the build quality, it has like a really much higher quality look and feel to the touch. And I think it looks really, yeah, almost like the leader of monitors. I mean, let me know if you know a monitor that's better designed. And by the way, if you don't like the white color, you can get a black color too. I like white. I think it looks cool. It fits to the Apple gear because the mouse is white and the keyboard is white. So yeah, and there I'm back again with the test results. Several days and weeks have passed and I have really put the monitor through its paces, and maybe I can show you a little bit what I found. First of all, the most noticeable result that I really like about this monitor, when compared to the old iMac that I was using that has a built-in LG panel, I believe, the new Eizo is way better because on my old iMac that apparently broke down. When I was sitting in front of the iMac and using it for a prolonged period of time, while the colors of that display were very, very nice, it would really create like a strain on my eyes, and I would really notice since I switched to the iMac. I mean, just first to recap, first I had an Eizo monitor and a MacMini, and then when I upgraded to this iMac, I think it's early 2008, I used this for 10 years. And during that time span, my eyes became really tired when I was using this built-in LG display, I believe, or something, for a prolonged period of time. And really what I like about the Eizo is that it's much more gentle to my eyes. I can sit in front of this Eizo display for a very long time, and it's exactly the way I was remembering it from my previous older Eizo display. It puts very little strain onto my eyes. I'm getting not tired even if I'm using this for a prolonged period of time, and I think I can attribute this maybe to the way this is manufactured, because I saw there are different types. These panels can be manufactured, and maybe the iMac display was just a different manufacturing type, and that's what maybe causes a difference. Honestly, I can't tell for sure, but one thing I know for certain, it's way nicer to look into this display. So, and also look down here, it doesn't really have buttons, it's like some sort of touch control. So you just touch it and up comes the menu, and really nicely you can totally seamlessly change the intensity. So obviously if there's a lot of light coming into your room, like right now, you maybe want to put it a little bit higher. If there's a lot of sunshine, maybe you put it to the max, and then as the sun goes down, you can just dim it manually. I mean, the flexibility, how you can dim this Eizo display compared to the display in the old iMac is really massive. Because I know when I tried to dim this old display, there was a very little room. There were just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps or something, and that was it. And once I dimmed this display down, I feel it became even more straining to the eye, because there was some kind of frequency or something that was in the display. At least that's my personal impression. And with the Eizo, I have none of this. I can really dim it down any way I want to, whichever setting is appropriate. And obviously if there's less light coming out of the display, then it's also less straining onto your eyes. So it makes sense to have the ability to adjust it. But Eizo took it one step further. Maybe you can see this down here already. They even put in a sensor, so the display can detect the light in your environment and dim down automatically. And you can also enable or disable this feature. Just go to the sleeve and turn on or turn off the Echo View settings. And if I do that, the display will sense the environment light and dim accordingly. And sorry guys, this display, this menu disappears after a second when I don't touch anything. The point is, what I noticed is the sensor works very accurately during daylight, but if you have LED lighting in your room, once the sun is going down and you switch on the LED lighting, I'm not sure. I have a LED lamp here, and if I turn this on at night, I feel the automatic function dims it a little bit too much. So that's why during the day I am using Echo View, and if Echo View dims it down a little bit too much, I turn Echo View off. Obviously, you can also customize the settings for Echo View, but yeah, I think that's a little bit excessive. So you can even adjust the sensitivity of how sensitive this sensor should behave. Other than that, I don't want to belabor this too much. I mean, you can change the inputs, you have the audio and a bunch of other settings, but I think that's kind of self-explanatory that you can, for example, here pick different color profiles. This is sRGB, that's what I'm always using, but obviously there's also a setting, I believe, for movie and so on. And if you're not on a Mac, I mean, I'm on a Mac, and the special paper mode is if you're doing a lot of reading, it reduces the blue light content, and that's also kind to your eye, because the blue light apparently is what makes it so exhausting. If you're on Windows, I think you also have an app, and you can just control this out of Windows. You don't have to use these touch buttons down here. You can just do this on the computer in the software itself, which can be quite handy. Movie mode, decom, user 1, but I'm sticking with sRGB. So this concludes, almost concludes the test. One thing I did notice, I mean, the color representation is quite accurate. Maybe the display looks a little bit weird depending on how I move the camera, but the colors are really nice. The colors are really popping. I mean, you see here, I'm just in the video software editing the video. It also has some anti-glare kind of coating, which I really like, and it has a matte finish in comparison. The iMacs always have this glass panel, which maybe it makes the colors even more radiant, and obviously it protects your display, but you can see it works like a mirror. So I feel the light when it comes in from the side on the iMac is a bit more reflecting than on the display. And guys, I think this really in reality it looks more like this. I mean, sorry guys, it's hard to show this. You have to see it for yourself, but I'm super happy with the display. The only thing that maybe you want to pay attention, for example, if you want to play a game. I mean, I tested the gaming performance on this display, and I noticed some games you may want to turn on, I think it's called VSync, I believe. So that should ensure that the games have the right refresh rate with the monitor. Obviously, it's not the AMD FreeSync type of monitor from all I know, but VSync works just fine. I'm not sure whether you really need AMD Sync or whatever it is. So guys, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm using this mostly for video editing, and there it works exceptionally well. So overall, I would really give this Eizo FlexScan 2451 really a thumbs up in all respects, except obviously it's a little bit more expensive, but hey, it's made in Japan. So guys, not sure whether this is the most popular and available monitor if you're located in the States. Here over in Europe, in Germany, it seems to be relatively popular, and I'm assuming it's very popular in Japan because it's his home country. Let me know in the comments below what else you want to know. Maybe I can answer some questions about this monitor, and also consider having a look at my recent Mac Pro tutorial series where I reveal whether it's worth to buy a used Mac Pro early 2009 and what kind of performance you can expect. Because like I said earlier, I replaced the old iMac with the much faster Mac Pro, and that's what I'm primarily using in the monitor with. Yeah, I mean, for the Mac Pro, it's a great combo. Obviously, having the 27-inch, the bigger one, would have been nice, but the 27-inch Eizo is very pricey, and I wanted to keep it a little bit on the budget side. So guys, I see you as a subscriber on my channel, and in the next video, take care.
And if you want to discover how I use my Eizo monitor with this insanely upgraded, really cheaply bought on eBay Mac Pro, then make sure to check out the Mac Pro playlist. And yeah, surprisingly, more and more people have already subscribed to my channel because of the useful content I provide here. So I see you as a subscriber, hopefully too, and maybe even as a student in one of my online courses. Until then, take care.